Hi, everybody. This is Mary Jordan from the Center for Teaching and Learning and the library here at SCTCC. Welcome to another session of discussion about quality matters for teaching here at SCTCC. We always have so much information for you, lots of good training, lots of good ideas. Tune into the entire series. Let's get started today with an introduction to the specific program of Quality Matters. This is Susan Engel, one of our instructors. Susan, introduce Quality Matters to us.
Thank you, Mary. Yes, I will also say a welcome to yet another topic in our Quality and Online series. Yay. The focus of this session is Quality Matters, and it's our introduction. We have some session outcomes. We really just want you to know about the Quality Matters resources, and we'll let you know what those are, where they are. We'll look at the standards, and then we'll get you set up to start reviewing your course. We had talked last time a little bit about why do we improve quality in online. And so I just want that reminder that quality in online and hybrid learning is the background for and the reason why we are doing this series or all of these series of videos. And this particular one will focus mostly on course design.
So good. I'm going to throw in a small commercial that in the playlist sitting next to this on our YouTube channel, we have a series of discussions from the Center for Teaching and Learning, and there is one there also about effective course design. You may want to look at both of these together just to help you feel confident.
Wonderful. And course design with online and hybrid can take a few different forms. There are two main quality assurance sorts of programs in the United States, and one of the main ones is Quality Matters, which the Minnesota State System School subscribes to and SCTCC subscribes to as well. So I have here, and I've got one of the handouts too. Oh, and it's fuzzy because my background is blurred. You can all pick up one of these handouts, and it's available online as well. This tells you a little bit about the overview of Quality Matters and the categories that we will be taking a look at throughout this portion of this series. There are 8 general standards for course design, making sure that you are incorporating quality into your course design. Those standards are listed against that left side margin on the sheet. In the middle, it talks about the specific review standards. There are 44. And on the right side, it talks about point values. And you'll notice that there are some 3-pointers, which are the big ones. Those are the essential standards. We'll focus mostly on a few of those essential standards today, and there'll be other video topics going much more deeply into these as well.
I'm going to give a shout out to anybody with a rubric. It makes it so much easier when you're trying to understand how to put your course together, how to make it better, how to make it work for your students. I say this in several videos. You're not talking just for the sake of talking. You're talking to teach. So having a rubric to help you walk through it, I mean, make your life easy. Use them.
Yes, and this Quality Matters rubric actually comes in a workbook, and our college ordered a number of those. We have the 7th edition, which was published in 2024. Mary has hers right by her. And this rubric is also available. I think we're going to try to make some available in the library for pickup. We've got them in the dean's offices, and we have them in the vice president's office, vice president for academic affairs office. So if you did not receive a copy at faculty in service, seek out your copy after this short video. The rubric itself is a self-assessment tool. It's a collegial tool. It is meant for us individually to be able to review our own classes and to collaboratively and collegially review with others. It's not it's not an overarching assessment tool, but instead it's one that allows us as faculty members to self-reflect on our courses, making sure that we are hitting a majority of these standards in a process that Quality Matters describes as collegial, because it's faculty working with faculty. It's collaborative, and it also is continual. We can't expect that we've got a perfect class to begin, to start, to, at the start of a semester. So it's this continuous improvement that we are working with, and we use the Quality Matters standards to help us with that.
Oh, yeah. And honestly, I just speaking as someone who doesn't necessarily care for criticism always, but I would much rather, one of my colleagues who's trying to help me, I would rather my colleague look at my class and say, oh, here are a couple of things that maybe you didn't think of. I would rather that happen than have my students just trash me at the end of the semester because I missed something obvious that somebody else could have helped me with. So, yeah, again, even if criticism is not your best thing, and I'm working on it, but still, it's your colleagues are here to help you.
Yes. And I will also maybe go one step further and say that we have had internal peer reviews on campus where faculty do bring their courses forward to be reviewed in a small group of faculty members. And you can check and see if we've got that going at the time of your watching of this video.
Talk to the Center for Teaching and Learning at that point and see what they can set up for you.
Yes. So Quality Matters works with alignment, and it's again alignment through course design specifically. These are 5 different standards or topic of standards, categories of standards, I should say. And these are what are called the alignment standards. We'll focus on these throughout a majority of our training. And then some of the smaller standards, the 1 point and the 2 point standards, are also something that we will strive for, but it's these essential standards and the alignment standards that we'll talk most about.
Get the big stuff done first, and then you can worry about the details.
Yes, it's like filling a container with the big pebbles, and then the little pebbles will all filter in.
I've been to a lot of training that talked about that. That imagery. Oh, good. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, and then next slide. There are 2 standards, standard 2.1 and 2.2, that are absolutely necessary for a review to move forward. So for these courses, we are doing self-reviews. We may do some internal reviews. There are also external reviews. If any of you might be interested in having Quality Matters review a course after you've done your own self-review. When they look at a course, they need for standard 2.2 and 2.1 and 2.2 to be completed. And 2.1 is the course level learning objectives, which at SCTCC, we're pretty fortunate. All of these have gone through AASC. We continually review those. We are certain that as we move forward, they reflect the objectives or the outcomes for the class of this year, this semester, this year. What we are focusing a little bit more on now is also that 2.2. That is the module or learning unit learning objectives. So maybe your class is broken down by module, maybe it's units, maybe it's by week. It is these individual learning objectives that need to align, must align with the course objectives, and then we can move forward with the review. This is something that takes a little bit of time to think about. We're breaking the big outcomes into the smaller module level outcomes. So it's a good place to start. If you've not thought about the module or the unit or the weekly learning outcomes, take a look at those, make some decisions based on what you are seeing as you are parceling out your course. I could also make mention at this stage too that Bloom's taxonomy will help. So look at those active verbs and see what will work for writing module or unit level outcomes. That's something that we write as individual instructors, and AASC does not review with us.
I was going to suggest the same thing, honestly, because you do want to make sure that it's not just, oh, my students listened to me talk. My students were present while something. You have to have those active verbs, and I never can think of them. You can find online some charts with all the different active verbs for Bloom's and just make it easy for yourself that you have a nice measurable outcome.
Yes, it's the specific and measurable outcomes that we will be looking at with the module learning objectives, and then making sure that they are aligning with the course level learning objectives. Once those are complete, we'll take it another step further and take a look to make sure that the course outcomes align with the module or the unit or the chapter or the weekly objectives, and that those also align with the learning activities in the course, and that those align with the assessments or the assignments in the course. You'll see the standard listed on here, and the standard annotations in the rubric workbook will give you more ideas about how these are met. But one thing that I think I will mention while we are on here is that some of the learning that took place for me with that learning activities was that in some of my classes, I had learning activities that I really loved and students really enjoyed as well. But after going through the alignment, I found that maybe the learning activity didn't align specifically with the module objective, and it probably didn't help with an assessment. So in some cases, I ended up letting go of some learning activities that were fun and interesting, but maybe did not align with the course objectives and the assessments or the outcomes for the students.
That hurts. It hurts to give up a fun thing.
It
There,
does.
there are a million options though for teaching. So if you, I mean, and you should be shaking off the model of just standing, showing PowerPoints. Definitely come talk to me. I mean, come talk to Susan, talk to your dean, but I can definitely work with you. I've spent a lot of time on that kind of activity. So you don't have to just think of all this stuff by yourself. We're a whole team here to support you.
Yes, and I think that's probably part of the reason we are putting out these videos, is to make all of us aware of the resources and then the people that can also help. So one other piece that I think I will mention in this particular area with the alignment standards is just a question to you, Mary, or everybody out there. Where else do we see these kind of alignments in our campus work?
I would say maybe in the strategic planning process.
Yes, and through our assessments with the strategic planning process. So every semester, every year, it was every 3 years, we're doing all of this assessment with our classes. And that aligns with then the pillars at the university, and it helps us in making some data-driven decisions with the curriculum. So in doing the Quality Matters alignment standards, we are also doing assessment work. And it will help when we are moving into our our semesterly, I should say, assessments, to go back into these rubrics, because we can break down our course outcomes then by modules to make sure that we are hitting what we need to be hitting with the student assessments or the student assignments. So, all right, good.
Good assessments make such a difference. I went to grad school for a while, and the assessment there was at the end of this, the only assessment was the end of the semester. Everyone wrote a 3-hour essay on the questions that
Oh,
the instructor gave. That was it. That was your entire semester's worth of grade.
oh,
That's
oh.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Even at the time, I thought that was bad, but a
So in
lot of
that case,
assessments in small cases, in small, it really helps.
yes,
Your students do
exactly.
better. Your students do
Yeah,
better,
students do better for sure. And
and
I
they
think
hate you
that's,
less.
yeah, yes, everything's not riding on one assessment. So if you're looking for a place to start, I guess I would suggest with Quality Matters, looking at standards 2.1 and 2.2. Those are the ones that will move you forward in your own self-review, in the internal review, or in external review. And look closely at all of those alignment standards. And then we didn't talk a lot about the 22 essential 3-point standards. That is another video. And we'll also take a look at some examples with 2.1 and 2.2 in another video as well. So go deeper in some of those after you have looked at your own examples of standards 2.1 and 2.2. So I know that in most of our videos, we are plugging templates, and I will mention in here that we have the optional syllabus template sample that is contained within the e-teaching part of our website. It's also found in the AASC and LASD 12 shells. I want you to know that using this template actually will cover for you at least 20 of the 44 Quality Matters standards. This was very purposefully done by a group of faculty some years ago, and it continues to be updated to make sure that we are putting in the standards in a common place where all students will see them and have access to them. So I don't want this process to be daunting for you, and I want you to know that the college is helping, and by following the online syllabus template, you will have covered already at least 20 of the 44 Quality Matters standards.
I'm going to say this in every single video and every other video that you see here. Use the template. Your world is not being infringed on. Make it easy for yourself. And again, I'm going to come down on the side of your students. Make this easy and just nicely the same across the board for your students so they know where to find all the good information.
I'll also mention at this stage, Mary, because you're talking about that, make it easy for the students, that standard number 8 in Quality Matters discusses the navigation of a course design for a student. And again, the templates really help with that because navigation becomes more common then for students across the courses that they are taking.
I think it also helps people to not forget things. So actually, like on here, I get students on this page that we're looking at, I get students in the library all the time who don't know their instructor's name. And when I say, oh, check your D2L page, it's not there. This
Yeah,
makes me bananas.
yeah,
But
yes.
honestly, it's easy to forget that stuff. Use the
It,
template.
use the template and it will be there, both in the syllabus and in the D2L template. So for Quality Matters, I would ask that you all create an account or sign into an account if you already have a Quality Matters account, because then you will have access to all of the tools. In addition to the hard copy of the rubric workbook that you have, you will be able to sign up for a self-review if you'd like to start that. And you have access to all of the Quality Matters standards and resources. So to create an account, you can go to this web address and either choose create an account or sign into an account, and then continue to monitor that. If you want to pause this video at this stage and actually create an account, feel free to do that.
We'll wait for you. We're here. Don't worry about it.
I had mentioned too, once this is created and you've got an actual Quality Matters account, you can go into the CRMS, the course review, and click start a self-review, which I have circled on the screen. And from there, you can key in the course that you want to review, English 1309, whatever it might be, and go through each of the standards. There's no timeline on this. So if you open one up and you want to work on it throughout the semester or throughout the year, you are welcome to do that. You can always go back into the self-review at whatever time, and you can continue to update that. It's a good place to keep your own notes on what you want to work on.
And I like to do that. I mean, I taught the same class literally 10 semesters in a row, and it didn't change a lot, but every semester something changes. And yeah, when you don't have to like put post-it notes all over your wall like mine, this is not a good system. Keep your notes in the Quality Matters. It'll be better for
Yes,
you.
yes, let Quality Matters help you with your organization.
I'm a librarian. I should know better than this, but now you will.
One other tip while you are going through Quality Matters and considering doing a self-review is to set up a D2L shell for yourself. And this has now been opened up for individual faculty to do that on their own. You could request for a development shell through IT, but you can also do it on your own. When you go into D2L, along the right margin, you'll see student support, faculty support, and then under that, there is this find help, request help and find help support. If you click into these 3 lines, one of the options will be to open a developmental shell or create a developmental shell. If you click into that, you can name what you want your course to be. Maybe it's something that you would love to teach in the future. Maybe it's something that you are teaching right now. Name it what you want to name it. Know that you can put all kinds of curriculum into it. You can make changes. And then when it comes time to teach the course, you can just transfer that over into a live student shell. So I really do suggest setting up as many D2L development shells as you would like.
You know, that's such a good idea. And I did not realize you could do that. I actually have a couple of classes that I want to make happen someday, but it isn't going to be this year. Oh, what a good idea. And then I'll be all smart and ready to go. Oh,
Yes.
Susan, look at us. We, as a group, all of us, everyone watching, we're amazing. Oh, okay.
Yes, yes,
I'm
this is
excited.
wonderful. The other thing that I do with this development shell is during a live semester, if something's not working or I want to make something a little bit better, I will make the change in the D2L development shell. And then it's ready to go for the next semester.
Nice.
So what are your next steps? Once you have completed the video, you might want to search for that QM rubric workbook. Sign up for a free QM account, open that D2L class shell for development, and then begin applying the Quality Matters rubric in a self-review. These are the takeaways that I'm hoping that you move forward with in your next steps sometime this semester or during the year.
People, I feel like we've got this, right? All of, I think I'm speaking for all of us. All of us. Yeah. I feel ready.
So then you're ready, but do you have any questions or comments? Or what do people need?
It can be confusing to get started. It can be confusing to do all this new stuff. I know, especially for those of us who are newer here, I had never used D2L before I came to SCTCC. So just keep in mind, it's very much like Moodle, like Canvas, like other kinds of systems, but everybody has their own little thing. We have a lot of people around who can help you and who can answer questions. It's hard to feel like you're alone with your
Yes,
class.
yes,
We're here for
yes,
you.
yes. Talk to CTL, connect with your deans, talk with other faculty members, check in with IT. There is a lot of support. There are a lot of support people out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much for all of this. I'm so excited. And yeah, we will see you in the next video. And in the meantime, have you been to the library with your class lately? Stop by the library. We have a lot of great stuff. All right. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye, everyone.